You're watching Pyro Media Network.
I gotta tell you something I could do. I could be running around chasing you, but I won't. Cause I got better things to do. Rather spend my precious time chasing somebody who loves me too. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door, I would be the richest girl alive, life. If you hadn't run away every time I asked you stay, you would sleep right next to me tonight. But you didn't know me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. About your magics and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. But you didn't win this, it's a part of the game. In the beginning, I just didn't know.
Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
Hey. Welcome to this week's episode of Nicole D. Vick Live. I'm Dr. Nicole D. Vick. It is Friday, Junior. I'm excited. We are in Black History Month, even though it's coming to an end. I'm like, I love it so much. I don't know if I've ever told y'all, but in years past, when I used to go into the office, I would do this Wednesday, whatever. I don't know. I had this what I'm wearing Wednesday type thing back in the day. And during Black History Month, I would always put on my Afrocentric outfits. I'm looking right at my closet. I have so many. I don't know. I get excited. And I would love coming in with, a different week, having on a different outfit. I hope to get back to that one day soon. I just haven't felt this. The spirit hasn't hit me in 2025 yet, but maybe for 2026, I'm going to be ready because I got a whole bunch of outfits that I have not worn outside. Because remember, we had the pandemic and, so it's outfits in the closet, and then of course the ankle. So it's outfits that have not seen the outside that I need to bring out. So I'm excited for that for next year. All right. So y'all know I've been telling you that the theme for this month's of Black History, this year's Black History Month. Hello. This year's Black History Month is African Americans and labor, really focusing on the profound ways that working and work of all kinds has really intersected with the collective experiences of Black people. So as you know, I've been focusing on that and touching on different aspects. I want to talk about public service professionals. I am a public service professional. I never really talk about where I work because I don't think it's really important. You all know I work in public health. You don't know where unless you Google me, then you'll know. But I will never really say that because I don't think it's really important. But I have this special interest in the workforce and have for about a decade. And so I'm like, wait. We have a situation right now at the federal level where a whole bunch of public service workers, and not when I say a whole bunch, I don't mean like 15 or 20 or 100, thousands are being let go for whatever reason. I don't know. Somebody sending out these emails talking about, see you later. Hey, can you leave now? We'll pay you. All this stuff is going on. I'm seeing it in the Facebook groups I'm in. People are like, what is happening? And it just really made me sad because I said to myself, first of all, these public service workers are providing an important type of work. They're providing for the public good. Secondly, a lot of public service workers, probably most, if not all of them, are part of middle class America. So you're literally like, just like, putting a chokehold on the middle class of this country. Like, what is the purpose and what is the reason? And so I got really, really concerned and felt like it might be a good idea to talk to my guest who's coming up about these issues, specifically around Black public service workers. Because as I talked to you all about, I think that was last week or the week before, public service was one of the ways for Black folk to enter the workforce and find meaningful work, have a job with paid time off, a good wage. You end up with a pension at retirement. You can buy a house. You can pay for your kids' education. It was one of the few ways that we could get in and actually make a decent living for ourselves, right? So I am really concerned about what's happening. And I found this article, I'd be Googling and looking around. There was a website called Public Pensions, and the article was talking about, hey, we should be concerned about our public service workers, specifically our Black ones. And I'll ask my producer to put that screenshot of that article up on the screen because it talked about throughout American history, the public sector has been instrumental in providing African Americans with pathways to economic stability and upward mobility. From the early 19th century to the present day, state, local, and federal government employment has offered equitable opportunities, often unavailable in the private sector, that enable Black workers and their families to achieve middle class status and build generational wealth. Literally what I just said. So as early as 1802, public agencies began to open the doors to African American workers. The first is like the United States Postal Service. I have a cousin who worked, she probably retired by now, for the post office, and have a good friend that works at the post office literally up the street from my house. So the Postal Service has been really a good way, again, for folks to get into public service and make a good living. And the article goes on to say we've been overrepresented in the public sector, again, because that was one of the few ways where we could get in, stay somewhere. Y'all know y'all aunties told y'all to get y'all good government job, and you sit there and you retire and get your pension and move on with your life. That's the truth, right? And so the strength of public sector unions also help protect Black workers from discriminatory practices. So there was so many protections and things that really helped Black folk thrive in those sectors. So I just want to share that there's a conversation around Black folk in public sector work and how important it is for us to be concerned to make sure they stay in those roles. And on top of it, me just being worried about what's happening at the federal level. Like, these are your neighbors that are losing their jobs for really, to me, in my opinion, really no good reason. Because what happens when the next pandemic happens? And I'm not going to say if, it's the when. And I've been taught that for years in public health. It is not if, it is when. When the next pandemic happens and ain't nobody in the office because you let everybody go, what we gonna do? That's the guy. Somebody, hello. So I want to bring on my guest, my good friend. I love her so much. She's been on the show before. She came on, I think, one of our Juneteenth episodes. And I wanted to bring her back because she has that expertise around the workforce and can give a more localized perspective from the county perspective. So let's bring on my friend, Delora Ellis. Hey, you over there just glowing. I'm like, every time I see you, you just be glowing.
It comes from the inside out. Thank you again, Dr. Vick. I love saying it, Dr. Vick, for having us.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you on. And so, I'm sure you heard me talking about, like, hold on, I think a lot of us here locally don't feel so scared because we're not federal people or anything like that. We're localized, maybe city or county. But I feel like us seeing what's going on with everybody losing their job, to me is like, you should be worried. I feel like in any event, you should be concerned. And so as always, I'm worried about Black folk in the workforce. And I know you worried about Black folk in the workforce. And so what does being a public servant mean to you and to the Black community? Why is it important that Black folk work in public service?
Wow, where do I start? Well, first of all, it gives us an opportunity to serve in positions that align with our passion and also to give back to the community in which many of us are raised. I'm an Angelino, born, bred, educated right here in Los Angeles. And for me to be able to give back to the communities that raised me through public service, it means a lot. And it's also important for LA County, especially, that has about 38 county departments, and serving African Americans in this county, in which we make up about 9%, to walk into those offices and see people that look like them. Private servants or public servants need to ensure, right? Our agencies need to ensure that they are reflecting the communities in which they are serving. So it just really, really allows us to give back, to make sure that we are represented, to make sure, because there's some love that comes with the service. I know, most know that you don't walk away with a whole lot of money or make it rich being a public servant. You have enough, as you stated, to be in that middle class sometimes. I said sometimes. Why? Because even with Los Angeles County being the largest employer of African Americans, many of us are in those clerical positions, those supportive staff positions, and things of that nature. So that's why I said sometimes. Right. And the cost of living in the county of Los Angeles, or just in the city, is growing. So it's very important for public servants to be here, and for them to have a voice, and for us to have some concern about what is happening at the federal level, because sometimes it is a domino impact or effect.
Absolutely. And I think what some people forget is that sometimes you may work for the county or the city, but maybe the funding source comes from the federal government. And if you don't know that, then oh my goodness, what happened now? Our program is shut down and now they're laying everybody off because there's nowhere for them to go. So I think it's really important for us to be paying attention, especially for people that work in stuff like healthcare. Yes. DHS, Department of Health Services, or in the hospital systems or the health facilities or public health. Like some of that work could very well be paid with federal dollars, like HIV funding and stuff. So like you said, even though in our mind, it's like, well, that's over there, that's federal, like it could definitely reach down, and we just need to be worried. And another thing is, like, to me, I see them as our cousins. They're our federal employee cousins. Like, I feel like we have county cousins, city cousins, like, hey, y'all, we all trying to do the thing. Those folks are just like us, trying to do a good job. And we're literally said, we're told, hey, sorry, your last day is today, pack it up. And it's like, that's so disheartening to me. One thing I'll say before we go to a commercial, real quick, sorry, Delora, let me say this and then you can say it and then we go to commercial. Okay. The idea of passion, I think that I always forget to bring that up, and thank you for bringing that up. A lot of us in some way perhaps have a passion because we are maybe impacted community, or we see, examples of folks doing the work. I know for me, it was family. I saw family in public service, or we just really see our communities, which are often underserved, under-resourced. We want to come in and be like, I want to make a difference. So thank you for bringing up passion.
Yeah, I was going to say something about the when you were talking about the several of the departments that are impacted are funded by federal funds. What we fail to realize is that many of our major programs are federally funded. I know we call it CalFresh. Some people know it as food stamps. Some people call it EBT. But we may need to stop and realize that funding is a federal fund. It's called SNAP on the federal level. CalFresh on the state of California's level, but those are federal funds that are coming into our county. So I'm very excited that the Board of Supervisors have now opened up the budget meetings where departments are coming and letting us know, hey, this, and this, and this, and this, so that we can educate ourselves a little bit more about the funding sources so it can heighten our awareness about, hey, what can happen? $49 billion budget Los Angeles County has. The question is, how much is that federal funds? And what will the changes at the federal level do to us? We should
Absolutely.
be concerned.
Very concerned. And I think the good news is, to your point, the board, it sounds like, is very supportive of, like, we got to keep our programming going, whatever it is. I think it's the governor too. But then to me, my question is, but if the federal dollars get pulled back, where the pockets, hello, where's the money? Where the money coming from to kind of try to build, make up the loss. So we'll figure all that out, and it remains to be seen. But I agree with you. It's good that we're at least now sort of lifting the veil on all these budgets of these different departments so people can understand. Because I think people think, maybe the public thinks a certain way about how stuff is spent or where the money goes, and now they can see, like, listen, we got about 25 cents and we try to make this happen with 25 cents. And yes, so I think it's really important for that transparency. We're going to go to break, and then we're going to talk about some challenges and barriers, and then kind of work into the future, and then some closing reflections. So see you in a couple minutes. And we're back. We are here with Delora Ellis Gant talking about the Black public service workforce. I think you talked about, we kind of talked about some of the biggest challenges facing public service workers today. One of them, I think, on the federal level is people is like, losing their jobs and getting laid off. I know we have budget issues, but can you talk about something? You touched on it, you touched on it a little tiny bit, and I want to come back to it. Systemic issues such as discrimination or pay disparities. How have they impacted Black professionals in public service? You talked about how a lot of it depends on, what's going on. A lot of us are in those clerk positions and we get stuck. Can you talk to that a little bit?
I can. And what I would say about that is that, as Los Angeles County continues to grow, a couple of things need to be happening with us, especially African Americans within the county structure. We need to be continue to like reskill ourselves, upskill, and things of that nature to prepare to move from those clerical positions all the way to the top. As you stated, this year's Black History Month theme is African Americans in labor. Well, Lakeia always put a twist on it by saying ours is African Americans in labor, the past, the present, and our future. And when we talk about those clerical jobs, I must uplift this one phenomenal leader that Los Angeles County had that gave 50 years of her life to this county. She started as a clerk and moved all the way up to the head of the largest welfare agency in our nation, Department of Public Social Services, Ms. Cheryl Spiller. She broke the ceiling. She was the first African American to serve in that capacity. So we know that that leadership pathway is available by moving from clerk all the way to the departmental director. And we've seen it with many others. One of our executive advisors, Ms. Cynthia McCoy Miller, LA bred, Fremont, we forgive her for going there, but Fremont grad. She started in Department of Children and Family Services, or DPSS, before the split, and now she's third in command at the Department of Children and Family Services. I'm talking about starting from the bottom, now we're here, right? All the way up to top leadership. So for us, what Lakea is really, really structured to do is to offer those professional development tools and actionable resources and things of that nature to help that clerical and admin support of staff move through, navigate through the county waters, because they have examples in front of them that it is possible to move from clerk to director.
I think that's amazing. And I think what Lakea is doing to make sure people learn how to pass these exams, because I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of times applying for county jobs, state jobs, city jobs, it can be intimidating. This form, and then if you don't write it the right way, and you don't know you're not really sure like what the cheat code is, and it's not really a cheat code, but you know what I mean? Like you don't really even know what you're supposed to put on there. And so I've had people say to me, oh, I thought I could, as long as I just fill it out and just, submit my resume with it, it's fine. It's like, no, you got to fill in those little buckets. You can't just put your name in there and send it in. They're going to reject it.
And that's why we're here, right? Not only because the application challenges exist for those that are current county employees when they're submitting applications for promotional opportunities, but what about the community at large, right? The unemployment rate in this county or in this state, 20% for African Americans, and even in the second district, 22%. We, Lakea, believe that, hey, there's some in our community that might want to come work for the county. So that's the reason why we sometimes open up our workshops, have one coming on March the 29th, to the community at large, saying, hey, let us help you through the application process, not only for our members, their families, their networks, but for the community at large. We're going to explain to you, this is the application process. When you get to that question, hey, dig a little deeper. When they're asking for a description, make sure you put that in, and just kind of navigate them through the process. Because like you said, it's confusing at times.
It is. And they swear it's not. And I'm like, it's confusing. And I've been here 20 years. I don't understand. And one other thing I was going to ask you is just a side question too. Have you been working with the LA Black Worker Center? They're right near me, and they have a similar sort of agenda as far as like making sure Black folk get into work, meaningful work. And I wondered if they are aware of some of the things that you all are offering to the public as far as classes and stuff. I don't know who's over there. I don't know who the director is. I just know it's over here. And I have their stuff.
I'm very familiar with the work of the Black Worker Center. As Lakea, we have this thing, elevate, educate, empower, our mantra, right? But we also believe in collaboration and partnership, because we just know that it's innate from our ancestors that we need to be tribal. We need to share the message, learn the message. Who's my brother? Saul Bona, right? I see you. So we see them, they see us. We haven't had the opportunity to work very closely with them and their new initiative of 1,000 strong. I know that they have a collaboration with the city of Los Angeles, but at the parade, we were there, Martin Luther King Day parade. We did have a chance to connect with one of their executive board members, and she shared with me that they have already had talks with the county of Los Angeles, so we'll see some similar programming. But I've been at the center. I attend their virtual meetings to just keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening in our city, in our county, because we just need to make sure that we're informed.
Yeah. And one thing about you gonna go talk to some people. I think we the same in that way. Like, hello, I've never seen you before, but I'm gonna say hello and we gonna talk. Because that's how we met. You walked up and was like, hey, because I had my book, and then it came out where I work, and you were like, wait a minute. And I'm like, see, so I know that you would, I figured you would know about them already, but I said, let me just check just in case. So that's good. I'm glad you were able to connect with them because I feel like there's some dual, there's some similarity and some synergy between the two of y'all. And I'm glad that there is some concern and effort on Lakea's behalf to really, say, how can we make sure our folks either inside that are already here that want to promote, how can we help them, and folks on the outside? Because that's the only way. We got to look out for each other. In either it's on the individual level, because I've done it. I'm like, before you hit that button, let me see what you wrote. Yes. Or through organizations, that you're running. I remember once at work, just literally turning on a Zoom, you're having a Teams meeting, and I was like, oh, okay, y'all. And I opened up HR and I actually walked them through it. I said, you see right here, click this, put this, write this, because everybody doesn't know like how to do those things. And it's really important sometimes to show, like, I'm literally going to show you, push this button and do it like this. So it's
we
really
have to recognize, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Dr. Vick. I love it. We have to also recognize that as a community, we all learn different. We hear different. We retain differently, right? So for some, you can say, Google it, and we have 5 generations, right? And so some Google it, some meet me on Facebook, some text, some email, some take it to the U.S. Post Office and have them deliver it to me. So we just need to make sure that whichever way we're serving the chicken, serving the information, that we have a variety of choices. Guess what we're having for dinner tonight, folks? Chicken. Some gonna have it baked, some gonna have it fried, some gonna have it smothered. But guess what we all eating? Chicken.
The same thing. That's right. That's what we gonna do. And then for us that don't eat chicken, the vegans, we'll have the fake chicken. It tastes like little chicken nuggets. So for the future, thinking ahead, what do you think, what reforms in the workforce do you think would better support Black public servants? I think it is a good thing for us on the other side to help people apply and try to get promotions. But is there anything, so for example, you talked about the board of supervisors. Is there something the board can do? Is there something that program directors can do? Like, how can we make sure that Black public servants feel supported in their work and actually feel like, this is the other thing I'm thinking about, that when they come in, there is a path for them to move up?
I got a couple of thoughts on that. I probably would have to come back to give them all to you, but real quick, I will say this. I think that the Black are all public servants need to really familiarize themselves with the board initiatives and things that are coming out. You have ARDI, right? The anti-racial diversity and inclusion. We need to get behind that and find out what's really going on with ARDI. You have all these different initiatives, all the Udemy courses that they're making available, the mentorship courses that are being available, the career pathway, DHR, the Department of Human Resources, have been doing some phenomenal things. But guess what? No one knows about them. They even launched the EEOC program, and it's available on their website for when people feel that they're being discriminated against. Please go see it, right? Even the hate crimes and the discriminations that sometimes we're feeling in the earth. I'm feeling in the earth. Yeah, I guess because it is global racism, but also feeling in our workplace that sometimes we are not actually making those reports because we don't see it like that. How do you file the report? So I would say that, like, some of these things are the opportunities that the county is doing to make sure that we don't get left behind as public servants, that we're continuing to grow, upskill, reskill, and get the tools that we need. And also, be prepared for the next step. We just got to make ourselves aware that those things are there. Now, for the KEA, I would say this. We are laser focused on this Black tech thing. So we do understand that AI is coming. We do not preach the message that it's going to replace jobs, because what we are seeing in the research is that, hey, it just be your job, but a little bit differently. So what do we need to do? We need to start upscaling, getting our workers and getting our members and getting our communities ready for the AI in public servants, in county government. That's what we need to be doing and focused on. I keep telling everyone, and I keep shouting it from the rooftops, and I'll stop it here. We need to make sure that African Americans are not only upskilling their skill sets, enhancing their soft skills, but we also need to get into 3 areas to make sure that we are represented and ready for those next levels. Those areas are contracts. $49 billion. $49 billion budget. Billion with a B, Los Angeles County has. Many of those are contracts. We need to be in the contract divisions of all these county departments because most 38 departments have a contract section. Most of them have a human resources. We need to be there. We need some representation in the IT area. And as we're seeing the Black tech gap widen, digital literacy is not just playing with your smartphone, right? AI is not just open AI or chat GPT. We just need to make sure that there is digital literacy within our communities. So where does that start? It starts with our members, but it also starts with our communities. So yeah, I'll leave it there. But
you just said, I mean, you just dropped some huge gems. And I think that a lot of us don't think about these things. IT, like, I don't think we think about getting into IT. I mean, I'm sure that there are Black folk in information technology, but I just don't think enough of us are like, oh, I should probably learn about that or try to figure out what that is, because that is part of IT is probably artificial intelligence as well, right? We got to figure out how to harness that and not be afraid of it, but how to work it. And the whole contracts thing totally was not even thinking about that, but that is true, that there are so many contracts to do all kinds of things, right? Provide direct services, stuff like training people or, you know, assessment of whatever XYZ that they need. And so you have to become a county vendor, or maybe if it's a city, I'm sure the city has a similar, you know, vendor process. But there's all these kinds of what are RFPs or whatever they're called, where you can try to, you know, kind of put yourself out there and compete for those contracts. Because, yeah, I mean, that's definitely something else to get into, and definitely HR. HR is huge. I was sharing before you came on that my love has been the workforce. And I didn't think it would be, but I was like, wait, even in my field, my specialty of public health, what about the public health workforce? There's an expectation for them to do this. Are they trained? Are they prepared? How do they do their work? And so it's become something that I'm really, really interested in. It so much so that my dissertation was focused on Black public health employees across the United States, because I was like, what are they experiencing? And let me tell you, they going through it.
I can imagine. So we just need to add these skills to ours. Even if we are a project manager, program manager on the program administrative side, add some AI to that, add some tech to that. So we don't want to get into the place where we believe that it's just a one lane. It's not. It's so global. It's so wide. And we just need to prepare ourselves. And we got the perfect opportunity. Why do I say that? Because we have smartphones in our lap. Yeah. We have lunch breaks, and we got free Udemy.
Yep.
And they have almost anything that you want to learn to county employees free. Now, even Lakeia, I will say this, because we have been laser focused on making sure folks know, hey, go out here and get these cybersecurity certifications. Get with Google. They got free. We've entered into a contract or a partnership with Delete the Divide. Lakeia did, so that Lakeia members that may not reside in what is called a digital desert can participate in these certifications free of charge. The Google, the Microsoft, and all these other certifications through our contract with Delete the Divide, and that's for our members, because we know this. Some of our members live in Riverside County. Some of our members live in San Bernardino County. Guess what? That program is not there. But if they're a member of Lakeia, guess what? And live there, they can still participate. That's how we look out for our members.
I think that is so awesome. And I see the post from the person that runs Delete the Divide. And I'm like, wait a minute, you might have to introduce me so I can have him on the podcast, because it'd be great to talk to him. And one of the things that I'm as you were talking, that I came to mind to me was like, we need to get on top of this because the train is leaving the station, whether we own it or not. So we need to make sure we ready to go too, because we're going to get left behind. And then, like you said, everything is moving to that. Everything is going into this technology world. And if you're afraid of it, or it's, oh, I don't know what's going on, and then it becomes scary. And then again, you're left behind. And as the workforce changes, I mean, I feel like some of our government work changes a little slower than maybe the private sector, but it still will start to shift in that direction. We have to kind of not be as afraid of it, because then that's another way we get left behind and get stuck in certain roles, because nobody knows how to do the thing, but other people know how to do the thing, and then we can't compete. So really interesting, and I'm glad. And yeah, for real, we might need to talk, because I want to have I forgot his name, Walter.
Walter Tucker. Yeah, he's doing an amazing job. You know, Mark Walter, it was a member of our was served in with Lakea in many capacities. We really have benefited from Walter's involvement with the association, and the Delete the Divide initiative under Selwyn Hollins, the past director of ISD. He was one of our advisors as well, and kind of opened our eyes to some of these things related to tech. So we're very grateful for that partnership. And as a matter of fact, every Wednesday, Lakea has been hosting a virtual lunch and learn series, and we had LA County's very own executive with the director of digital equity, Rebecca, on. So if you guys didn't get an opportunity to join us, you can run over to our YouTube channel and see that session. It was mind-blowing, and she's going to come back. So I do encourage you to bring Delete the Divide and ISD to your platform, because the information that they share is going to be valuable to your audience.
Awesome. We're about to close on out. So my last question for you is, what are your hopes for the next generation of Black public service workers?
I hope that they will continue to serve with their hearts from a space of unselfishness, to recognize that their contributions are needed. We need African Americans in public service. We need our next generation of folks to see us, hear us, and we also need to give to them and pour into them as others have poured into us. So I hope to see a brighter future for public African Americans and public servants, as in public service, but I want them to keep in mind the key word is servant.
Yes, absolutely. And you listen, this is what I tell when I used to teach at Occidental College and even at Cal State LA, I would teach them, them undergrad public health students. I said, listen, I'm about to retire, so I'm gonna need y'all to come on up in here and continue to fight, continue to figure out what all this is, because I'm gonna be somewhere drinking a margarita, minding my business. So I need you to take my place. I want you to take my place so that I don't have to be here and somebody else can figure this out. And we can make this community, this city, state, county better than it was before. And so that's always my thing with people. Listen, y'all, the young ones, you please come in with your new ideas and your innovation and creativity and figure this out. Because not to say that we couldn't figure it out. I think we did what we could with what we understood and knew. But it's like, let the new ones come in, because some of these young people, they are smart, brilliant people and have amazing ideas. I think my daughter, I talk about her like she's young, but she actually getting old now. She's 28. I'm like, baby, you're not young no more. But even for her, I always thought she was so brilliant. She still is brilliant and has these wonderful ideas. So I'm really excited for that next generation to come in. All right, we're going to close out. Thank you, Delora, for joining me. And you are always welcome. If you just feel like coming to say something, you just let me know.
In closing, I just really would like for you all in your audience and everyone to just really, in these next 4 years, we know that these are going to be unstable times, and we're looking for allyship. There's strength in numbers, and Lakea is really that place where we are going to nurture you, county employees, and the community. So please consider becoming a member. You do not have to work for the county to be a member of Lakea. You could join us as an associate member for $45 a year, Our membership dues is less than a cup of coffee. It's only $5.40 a month. So I must do that shameless plug and ask folks to please join us if you believe in the mission of eradicating racism through uplifting African American culture. If you believe in providing the community and members with actionable resources and tools to help them move their families, if you believe in building financial wealth and closing the wealth gap and wage gap, you need to be with us, because we elevate, we educate, and most importantly, we empower. Now, we're going to tell you the truth. Pull your slip up. We're going to give you some hard facts, but believe me, it's coming from love. So thank you, Dr. Vick. Oh, love it. For allowing us this space today.
Of course. Absolutely. And hopefully I'll be able to see you soon at the coffee house on your first Saturday? Hopefully soon.
Saturday every month. Black Coffee Shop. Let's talk.
Let me get my ankle right. I'll be out there. All right, Delora, thank you. We're going to close out. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. As always, you can find me on the internet. My website is www.NicoleDvick.com. All the things are there. Books, podcast episodes, like when I've been guest on other podcasts. I actually have one to add because I was just on a podcast last week. All the things, I'm an author, y'all. I'll be writing things. I got 3 books. Well, the first 2 are mine, self-published, Pushing Through and Push Through. And then the third one is Triumph in the Trenches, which is an anthology, which I have an article or I guess you can call it an article in that book with 20 other authors. And it's very appropriate for this month, you guys, because it's about navigating work as Black professionals. So check that book out. I have copies left here. I am on social media. I'm getting back on LinkedIn. I posted today. I sure did. Yay, I'm back. So I'm making myself, more available now, getting back into things. All right, y'all. I will see you all next week. Thank you for joining. And thank you again, Delora, for being here. We'll see you next week. Y'all take care of yourselves. Bye.
Thank you for watching Pyro Media Network. For more information, please visit pyromedianetwork.com.